All right, thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoyed lunch, and there's plenty more food if you need to get up and grab some later. But yeah, for those who are just joining us, welcome to Blue Day. So Blue Day, yeah, thank you. So this is actually our very first Blue Day, and we're very excited because we get to interact with the amazing Women in Web3 community during NFT NYC. And so we're really excited to be here with you all and introduce some of our sponsors and our great speakers. So yeah, I would love to just pass it over to Storj, who has been one of our amazing sponsors for the last few months. And just to hear a little bit more about what they do, and yeah, introducing the amazing Sean Wilkinson.
Thank you very much. How's everyone doing today? Good? Awesome. So, quick overview. I'm going to talk a little bit about my company Storj that I founded. Someone wanted me to talk a little bit about this winter bear market of crypto. I'll open it to one or two questions, and then I'll be around afterwards if you have any more questions. So, my name is Sean Wilkinson. I've been in the crypto/Web3 space for 10 years now. So
wow.
I've seen a lot of things, a lot of crazy stories I can tell you. Not enough time to tell them. But I founded a company called Storj that does decentralized cloud storage. So we're providing, a cloud storage network that people can come from AWS or Google and transfer over their data to our more secure, 80% more cost-effective, faster network. And then we're also doing a lot of cloud storage for Web3 projects and NFT projects as well. I'll tell you a little bit about the story. So started in 2012 in the Bitcoin space. I was just mining half Bitcoin a day in my dorm room. And first I turned that off way too early. It was making my room too hot. And suddenly my little $50 worth of Bitcoin turned into $10,000, and I was like, what's going on? As a college student, that's a decent amount of money. So I started reading, the white paper. I was a computer scientist at the time at Morehouse College, and just fell in love with it and got involved in the space, a lot of the early projects. And I was working on a little side project of mine, downloading some data from the Twitter fire hose and trying to analyze it and do some trades on it, and it was adding up to a lot of data. And so I was trying to figure out where to store this data, and there's Amazon and Google and all these other like cloud storage platforms and products, but it was really expensive for a college student at the time. So I was like, I'm running out my extra compute power to power this Bitcoin network and getting paid for it. Why can't I do that with like my extra storage space? Maybe rent out my friend's hard drive and do it for a lot cheaper. And so I went down that rabbit hole and never came back out. So in 2014, started an open source project, allow people to kind of rent out their extra hard drive space on their computer, get paid for it, and store a bunch of data for developers and applications. And throughout 2014, we did one of the very first token sales ever, raised about $500,000 to kind of get it started as a project. Essentially, we found out that was one of the very first bear markets that I went through. Suddenly that $500,000 went down very quickly. But we built out, the open source project. Kind of realized in 2015 that hey, we want to build this into a bigger thing. So in 2015, started a company around this project because the developers kind of wanted to be paid in like dollars and like have healthcare and like basic stuff like that. So raised $3 million venture from 2015 to 2017. I always like telling this little bit to more diverse audiences. It was really difficult, in the early days to raise funds for two reasons. Number one, I go into a VC meeting and talk about I want to build decentralized cloud storage on Bitcoin and blockchain. And they go, blockchain? That's used for drugs and guns, right? It was a very early concept. And number two, I go into a VC meeting and I walk in with my older white male business partner. VC would walk right by me and shake his hand first, and then realize, oh, I'm actually the CEO and founder. And so it was very difficult in the early days to raise traditional VC. But one thing I really love about the crypto space and the Web3 space is that there's so many people who are very excited for the technology and what's going on and what's the next new thing. There's so many more people who are willing to help you grow and support you and fund you than you would ever get from the traditional VC side. So there's still challenges, but there's so many more opportunities in the Web3 space compared to traditional tech. So from 2015 to 2017, we raised $3 million venture. 2017, we did one of the second largest token sale ever at the time, and we've been kind of building out our product line and customers ever since. And so we're one of the largest decentralized cloud storage networks out there. So high-level overview of Storj. We are hiring. If you're a front-end developer or designer, please apply. Shameless plug. With that, one or two things about bear market. I know. How many people are new to Web3? Just raise your hands. Okay. And then flip side, who's been in Web3 just a little bit? Just raise your hands. Familiar with this space? Okay, great. That's helpful. So as people have noticed, the crypto prices have gone down quite a bit, and people are starting to call that, the winter, crypto summer. But what I've seen, over my 10-year career is the billion-dollar companies that, are built in the space. Almost all of them were built during the winter periods when, everything was down, and, a lot of funding will kind of, shrink up. But that really reduces a lot of the distractions and allows people to focus on building something that's very valuable and, needs to have product market fit and all these really important things. So as you think of this, this market, where a lot of people see like doom and gloom, for people who have been in the industry for a while, they really see the new opportunities. Because when it comes to that hot period in crypto again, that's the time to really grow and scale. It's not the time to start to build a product. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. There's still a lot of people hiring in the space, including us. Still a lot of investors investing in the space. It is more difficult, but that's really where the opportunity is. So how am I doing on time? Okay, so that's a high-level overview of Storj. A little note on the current market, and I'm happy to take one or two questions, and I think I'm at time. Anyone have any questions on any of that, or crypto in general that they'd like me to answer?
You get a drink ticket.
Free drink.
I don't necessarily want a drink ticket, but I did want to personally come up to you after and ask you about funding, because $3 million, it sounds like a big number to me, and it's a process, I'm sure, of funding, and so just that in itself is like, and I think for women, it was said before of like, about just, financially maybe not in a position, but just like we're asking what we want, and like what is the process of that?
Yeah, so fundraising is definitely a process. If I was to give you one bit of advice, is read the book Venture Deals by Brad Fell. Like, it's a very short book. I think it's only like 50, 75 pages. It demystifies a lot of the terms. And before you raise a single dollar, you should read that book to avoid getting completely screwed in a financing deal. So I would highly recommend you read that book. But fundraising is a process. You will get a million no's before you get a yes, and you just have to go through it. But as you go through it, you will learn, with each.
Say the name of the book and who would buy again.
Venture Deals by Brad Fell.
Brad
Fell.
Fell?
Yeah.
F-E-L-D.
Yeah. Highly recommend it. It's probably the easiest summary of just the basic terms. And what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, and venture. So highly recommend. I can't say this enough. You read that book before you raise a single dollar. of any venture capital.
Yeah.
Because they'll just be like, oh, fancy this, and then you'll just completely get screwed up.
Yeah.
So highly recommend.
Did you have to like change your approach several times from your learning of the nose, or?
Yeah, so I mean, each meeting that you take from a VC should be a learning experience. You know, as you go through it, you'll get better and stronger in your pitch. But then, as people, you know, respond or ask questions, you know, you're going to change your responses. And with each new meeting, you know, you should be trying perhaps one new thing, kind of saying something a little differently, or if you know they asked a question that you heard previously that was first of you a question before, then it's a lot easier. So the more pitches that you do, the better that you get. It's just practice makes perfect. I think just to give you an idea, the first time that I was raising venture, it took 3 years to raise, 2 years to raise $3 million. Now, as I go through the pitch, I've had conversations where in a weekend I can get a commitment for $1 million. And so it's really just an iterative process. The more you do it, the more experience you get. The easier it is, and the larger your network is as well. One more question, and I think we're out of time.